I'm here talking with Ruud Janssen and with TNOC, and I guess my first question will be, what is TNOC?
Well, thank you, John, for having me. TNOC is the New Objective Collective. It is a collective of specialists in the meetings and events industry that are geared towards delivering new media solutions for clients that are currently very curious and interested in how new media can help their organization or their events be more successful.
So you're bringing together new technologies with the meetings industry.
It is bringing together the impact of some of the new media and the marketing communication behind that and how that can work for organizations, whether they be membership-based organizations like associations or federations, or organizations that are organizing events as internal or external corporate events. And then to see how do you superimpose the new media and how do you make that part of the strategy of the marketing communication.
Where did the idea for this come from?
Well, I've been in this industry organizing events and with a background in hospitality. Having worked with a company like Congrex, which organized large events for associations and corporations around the globe, I noticed that with these new media coming online and people getting very interested in their workings, there is a whole new audience to be served, the hybrid audience. And finding ways to serve this new audience and making sure it's part holistically of the whole communication concept of the event and of the branding of the event is becoming a very, very important new area of focus for organizers.
So did you see a need in the industry, the meeting industry,
Yes.
that could be fulfilled by a
Yes.
service that you were providing?
I think with companies becoming more global and events becoming more critical at their ROI, I noticed that a lot of organizations were not sure how this would help them or hamper them in obtaining their objectives. In step one, formulating those objectives concretely and making sure that there's a good understanding of what this can bring to the organization is very often a first step in how this then becomes a part and parcel of the delivery of the events.
So so you start before the event and you
Yes.
work to formulate.
Yes. Yes.
And then during the event, how does this work?
How it translates to a physical, tangible product is as follows: is that let's say once the objectives are formulated, I really see it a bit as a curve, let's say, which has a starting grid, has the actual event, and then has almost like what I like to call the half-life after the event of how much dialogue exists between participants. How it tangibly looks on site, if everything is prepared correctly, is that you have always within an audience, you always have a number of people that are very interested and maybe a little bit more into the new media already. What we want to do is give these people a special place and recognize them for their efforts that they're making in this innovation, and creating a connection or creating a hub during the event whereby these people can actually give the first point of view of the event attendees' point of view, and in almost near real-time reporting be able to actually bring this story to people that were not able to attend the event, maybe because they could not travel to the event or the time schedules did not allow for them to go there, or maybe they weren't even familiar with the existence of the event. And by cascading the story of the on-site experience into the hybrid audience, you all of a sudden create a much larger reach on site. And this is translated into a physical, let's say, what I'd like to call a new media hub for the event, which brings together all these communication streams. And this can be simple microblogs, micro messages like on Twitter, for instance. These can be comments or likes that you can have on Facebook or fan pages. These can be status updates that are done on LinkedIn or on Ning.com or on collaboration platforms that use integrated status updates. It can be photos that are blogged from mobile devices, and bringing all these into one place and making sure that the information is captured correctly and then disseminated correctly gives a fantastic opportunity for the organizer to then track the digital trace of his event and actually identify new opportunities for his sponsors, for the attendees of the events, and for the stakeholders who are looking to contact the right people who were involved and engaged during the event.
So it sounds as if you are actually adding and creating value to the event.
Yes.
And are there some savings that result from this as well?
The savings are primarily in the following: is that people, the actual, let's say, cost involved in staging an event is significant, and by increasing the audience without a lot of extra effort, you are creating a much bigger scope for the message. And because the people that are listening to the event are a very focused group of attendees, or maybe virtual attendees or hybrid attendees, you create new connections between people that may, because of the geographic distance or because of the fact that they did not connect before on a specific topic, makes it very interesting and just enlarges the whole networking effect of an event.
And what kind of feedback have you gotten from people who have been engaged in this process?
Well, as you can imagine, this area is a very new area that is just being applied over the last year. I've started actively in doing this, and the reactions have been, let's say, certainly when you see the dashboards of the digital footprint of an event, and you physically see the tangible result of all the communication tracks. And I compare this. You can also choose not to organize this, leaving you with a big plate of spaghetti, and you have to unravel it afterwards. And I can assure you that, let's say, if you organize the cooking of that dish beforehand, the actual result is a lot more interesting to taste, and it gives you a very hard metric to measure on, and then build on year over year when your event takes place in subsequent years.
Much more satisfying meal there.
It's very satisfying. What I find is that working on site with people that are tech savvy and not tech savvy, or maybe are looking and curious to find out, it's very often about helping and extending the hand. And I think things people are unaware of brings them out of their comfort zones, which is a good sign, because when you're out of your comfort zone, you're able to bond and you create new connections. So the one thing helps the other.
You're open to learn also? Yeah?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Very interesting, and I appreciate taking the time to share that with us.
Well, thank you, John. Thank you.